Hey guys, so I watched Star Wars The Force Awakens today, and I realized some things that I didn't realize the first time I watched it. It was directed by J.J. Abrams and released December 14th, 2015. It takes place 30 years after the original film. The rebellion is called the Resistance, and the First Order are trying to get rid of the Resistance. Princess Leia is the leader of the Resistance, and she's trying to find her brother Luke Skywalker. And there's a BB-8 unit that has some info as to how to get to Luke Skywalker. Also, there's new characters being introduced in this film. You got Rey, Finn, and Poe Dameron. Finn is written very poorly, and he's pretty much the bulk of my dislikes about this film, so I'm going to get into that in a second. But first, let me get into the first thing I dislike, which is the story. Overall, the story was like a rehash of the original story, Star Wars A New Hope, even though nobody calls it that, which I kind of get, because they had to bridge the gap between the old movies and the new one, and they had to introduce new characters while informing the new audience of the whole franchise, of what's going on here. So let's get into this Finn character. Finn was goofy from the very beginning. When he's trying to help Poe escape, he's like, stay calm, and Poe's like, I am calm, and he's like, I'm talking to myself. Wait a minute, you're a stormtrooper? What are you talking about right now, man? Man up. Next, he's getting named by Poe, actually. It's like, you're getting named by this random white dude. He's like, your name's Finn now, you know? Just like, okay. They got him drinking out of a hog trough on Jakku. It's like, come on, name me one other character that's drinking out of a fucking hog trough. And then BB-8. BB-8 was over here tasing him and looking at him all suspect. BB-8, fuck BB-8. BB-8 is a cop, in my opinion. Over here tasing him, looking at him suspect. You know, he was profiling him. He was damn near profiling Finn through the first half of this movie. He's talking to BB-8, and BB-8 says something. He's like, I don't speak that. You know what I mean? You know, just very kind of ignorant, stereotypical. Then he tells BB-8, droid please, like nigga please. It was like, really? Did we really just go there, J.J. Abrams, with that one? Droid please? Like, I can't stand behind that. You know what I mean? It just takes me out of the film. You know, there's this part where Rey is pointing to a tool, like directly pointing to a tool that she needs to like fix, I think, the Millennium Falcon or something like that, something in there, and he's reaching around at every other tool except the tool she's directly pointing at. So that just made him look stupid and incompetent. It doesn't stop. It just goes throughout the whole thing. It doesn't stop. It ends up he works for sanitation for the First Order. You know what I mean? As a stormtrooper, like, wait a minute. So not only is he an incompetent, silly ass, but he also worked for the trash department. He was a janitor, pretty much, for the First Order. Just like, oh my god, man. And I'm a Star Wars fan, you know what I mean? His character was also promoted, before the movie came out, he was going to be like a Jedi or a strong character, you know what I mean? So we have some hopes for this character, then to see him just be the complete opposite was kind of a letdown. So he's bucking his eyes, screaming Rey when she gets taken away. And then another obvious dumb thing that he said was when the First Order launched their weapon and it hit all the planets, you know, he comes back and he tells Han Solo, the First Order did that. And it was just obvious the First Order did that. Everybody knew the First Order did that. You know, they just have him saying some really dumb, obvious shit. Once again, just like, how bad are you guys going to write this character? How offensive and stereotypical and lame are you going to write this character? I just didn't like the way his character was written. You know, it's not the actor's fault. It's the creators of this movie's fault. It's the writers and or directors. You know what I'm saying? You know, he just played this bumbling fool kind of, in a way, very incompetent. It was disguised as like a comic relief, but it really wasn't comedy. It was just cooning. You know what I mean? He was out there cooning, being the, you know, the silly black guy that people can laugh at, really. You know what I mean? He gets beat up by the stormtrooper with the electric egg beater, which I call it. You know what I mean? Kills a couple bad guys here and there, but there's so much cooning in between his accomplishments that just kind of takes away from the good things that he does in his contributions to this film. As a member of the black community, I can't really get behind this movie, The whole Force Awakens. The Force is awakening within Rey, which is cool, and I'm all about that. But when you have them both, you know, coming up together in the same movie, and they're both supposed to be like partners or whatnot, it's just too unbalanced. One is very, very skilled, which is Rey. She can fly really well. She can do everything well. That was another dislike about this. She can do everything well. She knows the Force well. She knows how to pilot well. She knows how to fix, you know, robots and all this different types of shit, and fix jets. And you got dumbass Finn over here talking about, I don't speak that, or, you know, you understand that thing? You know, when she speaks the Wookiee, she understands Wookiee. He doesn't understand Wookiee. It's just too unbalanced. At the end of this one, he's in a fucking coma. So you guys have to write the next one a little bit better for me to give a fuck about episode 8. Lupita played the alien Maz, and it didn't really look like a cute character. Yoda was something kind of cute looking, and it was like Yoda. You know what I mean? It was a definitive character. This Maz character is just like a CGI random alien. They could have made her look cooler or cuter or something like that, or just use Lupita. I'm actually upset that they didn't use her actual physical person. Beautiful dark black sister, and they just used her voice. They only used her voice in this, and she was dropping like knowledge. She was the Yoda of this movie in a way. Once again, another parallel from the older movies, and they just dropped the ball on that one. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Another thing that I disliked though was Poe showing up randomly in the second act. He goes down in the plane with Finn, and they blow up, and you think he's dead, and it's just kind of like left unsettled. And then he comes back in the second act flying a plane, like, oh, he's back. And they don't really say anything until he lands and talks to Finn, and they hash it out, and they have a little. It was just kind of silly. I guess they didn't really need him for any of the other part of the film, so they just kind of left him out, which is fine. I really wanted to like Kylo Ren, but he turned out to be kind of soft in the end. You know what I mean? He's over here. He seems like he's not really about that dark side of the Force life, and that's why I didn't ultimately like him. I wanted to. He seemed like he was going hard, but. Ultimately, I don't know how hard he's going to go. Once again, Rey was just way too good at everything without any training. You know what I mean? She was a great pilot. She could use the Force really well off top without any training. She could, fix jets and all different types of stuff. She was just really, really well off. And then it made Finn look dumb in comparison. The last thing I didn't like about it was the second act. The second act was a bit disjointed. There was definitely a moment there where you're like, wait, what's going on? Who's this Maz character? Why are Rey and Finn splitting up? And why is Rey rejecting the Force after having this wicked, flashback premonition thing? There's just a lot of questions. So with that said, let's get to the things that I did like about it. The cinematography of the opening shot where the stormtroopers are inside the jet, like in formation, was kind of cool. Kylo Ren stopping the gun blast was something we'd never seen before and something brand new in a Star Wars film, so that was really cool. Rey chilling on the AT-AT walker from Empire Strikes Back. That was like a little throwback to a previous Star Wars movie. So we're seeing a lot of ships and whatnot from previous films that they put in there, which are like pretty much Easter eggs. I dig that. The Millennium Falcon chase scene in the beginning with Rey and Finn. Finn actually did something there. I think he shot maybe 1 or 2 bad guys down. Being useful. It was good to see Han Solo and Chewie together one last time, even though it was a bit forced for the sake of nostalgia. Also, I like the way that Kylo Ren puts cats on pause when he's like battling with them and fighting with them. He'll just be like, and you'll just be stuck in a position. He doesn't even have to hold that. He can just like put you in it and then just like walk over to you and do some other stuff. So that's different. That's new. That's why I'm excited when Snoke says, "Bring Kylo Ren to me" at the end. We have to complete his training. I'm very curious to see what that training is and how it's going to be completed and what he'll be able to do once it is completed. Will he have, the electric lightning powers like Darth Vader had, or what will he have then? Because he's already kind of badass, but like I said, he kind of was cranked down. He didn't seem like he was fully ready for the dark side. So hopefully he gets trained by Snoke or whoever, and he comes back ready, fully ready. Also, when he was in the fight at the end, I like how he kept punching his ribs. You know what I mean? He seemed like he was like about that life, that battle life. And then at the end, when Rey gets to Luke Skywalker, that was just a really cool scene. How Luke doesn't say anything, it just has you geeked for that next film, which I kind of am, but I'm kind of still not. You know what I mean? They have a lot of making up to do for me to give a shit for this next movie. Finn needs to make a complete 180. I'm not geeked about the trailer either. That new trailer where he's just sleeping, he's still in a coma, not doing anything. Let me know in the comments, will Finn be trained as a Jedi? Will he go to be trained by Luke? Or will he be somebody else important? What will be his role in episode 8? Or would they just leave him in a coma for all of episode 8 and waking him up for episode 9? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.